Greetings, everybody, and welcome once again back into Hobart-Detter Field in Hutchinson, Kansas. It's time for Hutchinson Community College Baseball on the Blue Dragon Sports Network. This afternoon, Game 1 of a best-of-3 Region 6 opening round series between the number 4 ranked Hutchinson Blue Dragons and the Labette Cardinals. Once again, good afternoon, everybody. Steve Carpenter with you on an absolutely gorgeous afternoon here in Hutchinson. This morning, the Blue Dragon Golf Tournament was taking place just immediately to our right over at Cary Park. A tremendous event put on by Athletic Director Josh Gooch. And then about a couple hours ago, I made the way over here to get set up for postseason baseball as the Dragons look to return to Grand Junction for the first time since 2010. That first step will be a best-of-3 series against the 8th seed out of the Jayhawk East, the Labette Cardinals. Hutchinson coming in, riding a 17-game winning streak, 43-11 overall. The Cardinals are on a 4-game losing streak. They are 20-31. So the Blue Dragons, heavily favored in this one as a 1-8 matchup. Should be, but as we will find out and have found out before, seedings and home field advantage mean very little. Independence nearly came in here as a 15 seed, and nearly knocked off the number 4 seed Blue Dragons 1 year ago. In fact, Hutchinson was trailing 8-0 in the third and decisive game before rallying to win that game. So anything can happen in the postseason. You can throw the 43-11 record out. Everybody is 0-0 going in. Nolan Hoffman goes to the mound for the Blue Dragons today. He's the staff ace out of Lincoln, Nebraska, headed for Texas A&M. He will be opposed by Bradley Nolan. We'll get those numbers on all those pitchers when we come up after the break. When we do come back, though, it'll be our daily chat with Blue Dragon head coach Ryan Schmidt. It's the Blue Dragons and the Cardinals, Game 1 of the Region 6 opening round series from Hobart-Detter Field. This is Blue Dragon Baseball. Welcome back to Hobart-Detter Field, everybody. Steve Carpenter speaking with the skipper of the Blue Dragons, Ryan Schmidt, before we open the postseason with Game 1 of this opening round Region 6 matchup with the Labette Cardinals. I think I asked you this last week where the season's gone. It is truly shocking that the postseason has arrived.
It is, and we got good weather too. I mean, when you get to the end of the year, you're hoping for days like today because you've seen every kind of weather system. But yeah, you blink and the season's over with, and so it's crazy how you can have a really good year and you have crazy numbers and a good win-loss, and then everybody goes back to 0-0. And so but it is the fun time of year that everybody looks forward to, and what a better day to play baseball.
Labette comes in the 8th seed, but honestly, you and I have been around this league long enough. Seedings, home field advantage don't mean a whole lot this time of year. Look what Indy almost came in here and did last year.
It means absolutely nothing. And if last year was any indication of how crazy this is going to be, Coffeyville went over and beat the league champion Colby last year on their home field. But that's the biggest message that I've given to this team all year. Don't be complacent with where you're at. Don't take a day for granted. Don't take a pitch for granted. And so we are definitely not taking Labette for granted because they can jump up and beat you just like anybody else in this conference can.
Just looking back at the season, obviously, 43-11, tremendous numbers, Jayhawk West Championship. What did you take away from the regular season that maybe you didn't anticipate happening this season?
Probably our record. If you would have told me we were going to be 26-6 in conference, I probably wouldn't have believed you, because that's a lot of wins in a conference that's very, very tough. And you and I well know that these teams that in our conference are competing very hard, and 4 games on a weekend and 2 days and 32 innings. It's a lot of baseball, and to put a season together like that, it's tough. And we made it look easy sometimes, but I hope people appreciate how hard it is, and I know the people that are close to it really do appreciate how hard it is to win a conference championship and put together numbers like that day in and day out.
Speaking with Ryan Schmidt before this afternoon's opener with Labette, slight format change. Instead of a doubleheader on Saturday, if game on Sunday, 1 game on Friday now, 1 game on Saturday, the if game on Sunday. I don't think there's a coach that can't like this format.
I absolutely love it. It's the way baseball is supposed to be played. Kansas City Royals, our team, goes in and plays 1 9-inning game a day. And obviously, logistically, we can't afford to do that. But for playoff time, we can. And it's the way baseball should be played. 1 9-inning game a day. You go out there, you take BP, you play in a 2.5-hour game, and you go home. 5, 6, 7 hours at the baseball park during just gameplay is a tough day, not counting batting practice and everything you do before. So really excited about this format. I think it just is going to make it even more competitive, which is the magic about the Jayhawk Conference.
What do you know about the Labette Cardinals?
Scrappy. They are aggressive. They're going to throw strikes. They're going to play defense. They're going to try to play defense behind you. And what I mean by that is they're going to run pickoff plays. They're going to run timing plays. They're going to try to steal outs wherever they can get them. And so we have to be very aware on the base paths. We got to be very aware in what we're doing, and not give away outs essentially.
We had a slight change up to the rotation last week, a few injuries. How are you going to pitch the rotation in this 3-game set?
We will, in the first 2 games, we're going to go Nolan Hoffman and Wyatt Davis, and we will play it by ear. All hands on deck in these kinds of series, for sure.
You bet. Well, best of luck today. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.
Thank you very much.
The thoughts of HCC head coach Ryan Schmidt. Back with the starting lineups right after this. You're watching Blue Dragon Baseball on the Blue Dragon Sports Network. And as we have already had the managers meeting, let's get to the starting lineups for Game 1 of this best-of-3 Region 6 opener. First for the Labette Cardinals, coming in at 17-30 for veteran coach Aaron Keel. Leading off will be the shortstop Zach Keller. Dax Sanborn, the team's leading hitter, bats second. Batting third will be the designated hitter Colton Schnenker. Batting fourth at first base, Israel Trevino. Right fielder Dallin Merriman bats fifth. Sam Schwartz is the third baseman. He bats sixth. Sam Donnell is the catcher. He will bat in the 7th slot. Center fielder Zach Stanley bats 8th, and batting 9th will be the left fielder Kendall Jeffers. Bradley Nolan is the starting pitcher for the Cardinals today. And Nolan brings in a record of 3-6 and a 6.51 ERA. So for the Cardinals, it's Keller, Sanborn, Schenker, Trevino, Merriam, and Schwartz, Donnell, Stanley, Jeffers, and Nolan on the mound. For the Blue Dragons, 43-11 overall, ranked number 4 in the country. The Jayhawk West champions for 2017. Leading off will be the shortstop Shane Cooper. Batting second, the nation's leading hitter Michael Hellman. He plays second base. Batting third will be the left fielder Bobby Morganson. And in the cleanup spot and playing center field, Nolan Hackle. First baseman Brady Hoover bats fifth. Batting sixth will be the third baseman, Caden Doge. The designated hitter, Wyatt Davis, bats seventh. Scott Wolverton bats eighth, and he is the catcher. And playing right field and batting ninth, Brock Schaefer. Nolan Hoffman gets the start for the Blue Dragons. Hoff 6-1, a 4.45 earned run average. So for Ryan Schmidt's Blue Dragons, it's Cooper, Hellman, Morganson, Hackle, Hoover, Doge, Davis, Wolverton, Schaefer, and Nolan Hoffman on the round. Already one final to report from the first round of these series. Neosho County, the number 6 overall seed, third seed out of the West, defeats Cloud County, the 6th seed out of the East, by the score of 11-4. They lead that series 1-0. We'll get you all kinds of scores throughout the afternoon. We'll keep you all caught up. The Dragons and the Cardinals getting set to go do battle here. First time since 2006 these teams have met in the postseason. That also happened right here at Hobart-Detter Field, and that was a 2-game sweep by the Blue Dragons. We'll even tell you more about that as the afternoon goes on. Time for the national anthem here at Hobart-Detter Field. When we return, this afternoon's opening pitch. This is Blue Dragon Baseball. We're about set to go here at Hobart-Detter Field. Game 1 of this Region 6 opening round series between the 43-11 Cardinals and the 43-11 Blue Dragons and the 17-30 Labette Cardinals. The sophomore Nolan Hoffman getting set to take his warm-up tosses. Let's get to the numbers on the sophomore from Lincoln, Nebraska. He is the career strikeout leader in Hutchinson history. 6-1 record with a 4.45 ERA, making his 12th start of the year. 3 complete games and 2 shutouts for Hoffman. Team high 60 and 2/3 innings pitched. He's allowed 57 hits, 35 runs, 30 earned. He has struck out 70 and walked 29, and opponents have given up or getting an average of 246 against him. Our umpires this afternoon, a 3-man crew. At third base is Corey Burkhardt. At first base, Sam Schartz. And behind the plate today is Nathan Garrison. Ryan Schmidt in his 5th season. He's coached now 2 Jayhawk West championship teams. Aaron Keel has been with the Cardinals 18 years. He's been one of the longtime Jayhawk coaches, also one of the Jayhawk ADs. And we are set to go. A couple minutes early, but we are set to go. Welcome to Blue Dragon Baseball and the Blue Dragon Sports Network, to all those Blue Dragon fans and the Cardinal fans tuning in. So Zach Keller will lead it off. Nolan Hoffman delivers. And it's downstairs, ball 1. First pitch coming at 3:58 p.m. Absolutely perfect day outside. No wind, 78 degrees. Here's a swing and a miss, and it's 1-1. Zach Keller hitting .284 for the year. 48 total hits, 4 home runs, 35 RBIs, 13 extra base hits, 6 doubles, 3 triples. And pitch misses from Hoffman, and it's 2-1. Hoffman did not pitch in the Pratt series. He was a bit sore and held out for precautionary reasons. 2-1 from Hoff. Back to the screen, and it's 3-1. Hoff not as consistent this year as he was in his freshman year, especially before the sore back slowed him down. But still a tremendous competitor. Strike on the inside corner at the knees, and it's the full count. 13 career wins for Nolan Hoffman. He was a 14 careers. He was an 8-game winner last year. Here's the payoff from Hoff. Lined over the glove of Michael Hellman into right field, and that's how the series gets started. 3-2 pitch goes the opposite way for Keller. Very aggressive team, the Labette Cardinals. In terms of swinging, they're 43 of 52 on stolen bases. Keller has 10. He's 10 for 10. Now Dak Sanborn, the team's leading hitter at 368. He has 6 home runs and 31 driven in. So Hoffman goes to work out of the stretch. Here's the pitch in there for a strike. This is a new format. Still best of 3, but when they instituted this best of 3 format back in 2004, they always put a doubleheader on Saturday and a single game on Sunday, the if game when needed. There's a bunt that's fielded by Nolan Hoffman. Only play will be to first, and the sacrifice works 1-3. So Keller at second, 1 away, and that'll bring up the 3-hole hitter Colton Schenker. Colton Schenker hitting .270 for the year, 8 home runs, 37 RBIs. Labette hits .301 as a team. They've hit 44 home runs this year. First lefty that Hoffman will face. And he misses low and outside, ball 1. Not a huge gap-to-gap type team. Not a ton of doubles and triples for this Labette team. 1-0 pitch from Hoff. It's lifted to left field and shallow. On comes Morganson. Out goes Cooper, and it's Morganson to make the catch for out number 2. So 2 away now for the first baseman, Israel Trevino. Trevino hitting .329, a team-high 10 home runs. His 38 RBIs are also a team high, 1 ahead of Schenker. He has a 2-out RBI opportunity with Keller at first. Outfield straight away at all 3 positions. Fairly shallow in left field by Morganson. Hoffman working out of the stretch, checks the runner at second, and now delivers a curveball, misses. Oh, called strike at the knees. Wind in the pitch. Just off the plate. Catcher Scott Wolverton tried to frame it and couldn't buy the call, and the count even at 1-1. Dragons haven't played in this good of weather in quite some time. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Grounded. Big hop from Michael Hellman, the second baseman. And it's a high throw that will allow the run to score. Staying it put at first is Trevino. But a throwing error by Michael Hellman allows Labette to score the first run of the game. It was almost as if he had too much time to make the throw. So an unearned run. No RBI. But either way, Labette leaves 1-0. That'll bring up DeLon Merriman. Playing right field. Here's the pitch. There's a strike at the knees. DeLon Merriman hitting .319 with 5 home runs, 29 RBIs, 51 hits. Hoff's delivery. That one's lined to left field for a hit. So the inning continues. Solid single to left field by Merriman. Torino stops at second. And now the third baseman, Sam Swartz. Swartz, a sophomore, hitting .291 with 4 home runs, 31 RBIs, 44 total hits. He scored 29 runs. So a rugged start to this one for the Dragons. Hoffman checks the runner at second. Now comes home. That ball's lifted down the right field line on the run. Brock Schaefer into foul territory, makes the catch, and the inning is over. Long run by Brock, but an unearned run on 2 hits, 1 big error, and 2 left on base after a half inning in game number 1. It's Labette 1 and the Dragons coming up. Righty Bradley Nolan taking his warm-up tosses here at Hobart-Detter Field. 1-0 Labette on an unearned run after a 2-out error. Bradley Nolan making his 7th start of the year, 21st appearance. He's a sophomore, 3-6 with 1 save, 2 complete games, and a 6.51 earned run average. Nolan has tossed 56 2/3 innings. He's allowed 68 hits, 45 runs, 41 earned. He has struck out 51, walked 34, and has allowed 7 home runs. Blue Dragons, one of the nation's top offensive teams, hitting .345 as a team. Number 4 in the country with 89 home runs. That is a school record. And Nolan will get Cooper, Hellman, and Morganson here in the bottom of the first. Again, 3 single games this weekend. For the Blue Dragons, you hope it just goes 2, and then you get on to Wichita. But this is the postseason. Everybody's 0-0. And that's why you can't take anything for granted. So here we go. Bottom of the first inning, Shane Cooper steps in. The sophomore from O'Fallon, Missouri. Coop hitting .343. 71 hits, 8 home runs, 46 RBIs. Coop coming in with, hitting 2 straight. Now number 2 in career all-time hits. And here we go. Nolan misses low ball 1. The pitch. And misses, and it's 2-0. 167 career hits for Cooper, second only behind Michael Hellman. Now 3-0. Labette team ERA is 7.02. Giving up 34 home runs as a group. Here's the cripple. Ball 4, it's a leadoff walk, so the tying run gets on. And now the nation's leading hitter, and Michael Hellman, will step up. .498 average, first time he has been below 500 since March 1. 101 hits and 203 at bats, 16 doubles, 4 triples, 17 home runs. 68 RBIs for Hellman. Last time out against Pratt, he had a 2 home run game. Hellman's now hitting 7 straight. The pitch bounces in and gets away from the catcher, Donnell. Coop makes a wide turn at second, but he'll stay there. And that's 5 straight out of the zone for Nolan to start the game. So the Dragons have the tying run in second base with nobody out. Hellman, one of the more accomplished bunters on the team. Third baseman Sam Schwartz now playing even with the bag. First baseman Israel Trevino is playing back at first. Outfield deep at all 3 positions and straight away for Hellman. Nolan comes, set, and delivers. Hellman showed bunt but took a strike, and it's 1-1. Crowd growing here at Hobart-Detter Field. Absolutely perfect day for baseball. Here's the pitch. Upstairs, 2-1 to Hellman. First time these two teams have met in the postseason since 2006. An opening round series right here at Hobart-Detter Field. And in that season, the Blue Dragons were the Jayhawk West champions as well. 2-1 to Hellman. Swing and a high drive left field. The left fielder tracking it. He'll make a catch on the track. And moving on to third is Shane Cooper. And Michael Hellman just missed it. It was hit a mile high. But it's not the distance you need. So the tying run now at third base with 1 out, and the team's leading RBI man, Bobby Morganson, stepping in. Right now, Morganson, 5th in the country with 79 RBIs. He's hitting 379 overall with 78 hits, 9 home runs. Nolan will work out of the windup with the runner at third. The pitch in there for a strike on the outside corner. Dragons trying to tie it up. Labette had an unearned run in the top of the first. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch way outside, and it's 1-1. Interesting motion for Nolan. And back leg is bopping up and down once he goes into the turn. The pitch way outside, 2-1. It's almost as if pitchers' motions have become so much complex that strike consistency is not quite there overall in the game of baseball these days. That pitch taken downstairs, and it's 3-1. 12 pitches, only 3 in the zone for Nolan. Now the Dragons need to take advantage of the wildness, be patient, and get their pitch. Here's the 3-1 to Morganson. Pulled foul. First base coach Jamel Cervantes watches it sail past him. Don't know if that deserves a tweet or not, looking it down at Denny. You will not see a review of Jamel Cervantes' latest effort at first base on Twitter. Now it's a full count to Bobby Morganson. Nolan into the windup and delivers the payoff pitch. Morganson fights it off. That was a pretty good pitch from Nolan. Labette, a scrappy team that will run a lot of pickoff plays, run a lot of timing plays. They hit 301 as a team. Again, pitching staff. Team ERA 7-8. There's a line drive to right field, and this game is tied up. That ball's into the corner, and Morganson's heading for second. Merriman got under the fence, so it'll be a stand-up or a ground rule double. And the Dragons have tied the game up at 1-1 as Bobby Morganson drives in his 80th run of the year with his 19th RBI. So Cooper scores. And now Nolan Hackle, chance to give the Dragons the lead. The cleanup hitter from Lincoln, Nebraska. Hackle hitting .359 with 65 hits, 9 home runs, 37 RBIs. Hackle's hit in 8 straight. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 1. Game's tied up. Here's the pitch. That one's hit well to right field, coming on as Merriman. Almost overran it. He makes the catch. No advancement by Morganson at second base. So Hackle hits it well, but right at Merriman for the second out. Bases a runner at second base, 2 away for the first baseman, Brady Hoover. Third-year sophomore out of Wichita. .329 average for Brady with 50 hits, 12 home runs, That's second on the team, 42 driven in. This has been a magnificent offensive team for 2017 and for Blue Dragon baseball. Breaking pitch inside. 345 team batting average, 122 doubles, 22 triples, 89 home runs, and now 507 runs. 1-0 pitch. That's a line drive that sails right over the party deck. That's why you make that little announcement before the game that we're not responsible for foul balls entering the stands, and that one entered the stands at high velocity. 1-1 now, the count to Hoover. Morganson away from second. Here's the pitch. Low for a ball, 2-1. Dragons trying to get to Grand Junction for the first time since that magical year of 2010. 2-1 pitch. Outside corner, a strike called, and it's 2-2 to Hoove. 2010 team. Many ties of this team from the coaching staff on that team. Jamel Cervantes and Toby Corneo. Toby was a backup shortstop. Mel was the starting center fielder and leadoff hitter. That team finished third in 2010. 2-2 pitch. Rolls over the top, down to the third base line, and it goes foul. That Dragon team perhaps just one bad defensive inning away from playing for a national championship. They lost to San Jacinto 9-4 in their elimination game to finish third. They gave up 6 runs in 1 inning, and there were 3 errors. You take that 1 inning out, and the Dragons might have played for the national championship. Curveball swung on and missed, and the inning is over, but they get it tied up. 1 run on 1 hit, 1 left on, and after 1, it's the Blue Dragons 1 and the Cardinals 1. Second final into the afternoon. Run rule down in City Ballpark in Arc City. Cali, the Jayhawks champion, defeats Seward County 15-1 in 7 innings. Here it's 1-1, top of the second. Nolan Hoffman back to the work, and he will face Sam Donnell, the catcher, hitting in 7th, and it's a strike 1 to Donnell. Donnell hitting .258 for the year, 24 hits, 2 home runs, 8 RBIs. Good pitch from Hoffman, a strike at the knees, 0-2. Labette comes in on a 4-game losing streak. .02 from Hoff. Right down the pipe, strike 3 called, 1 away. Hoffman's first strikeout. That'll bring up the center fielder, Zach Stanley. Stanley hitting .236 for the year with 30 total hits, 4 home runs, 27 driven in, 5 doubles and a triple to his credit. Good fastball again. Hoffman looks a little more determined this inning. 4 consecutive fastballs and 4 strikes. Hoff into the wind. One misses. And he's got some juice. That ball is popping Wolverton's mitt right now. Again, didn't pitch against Pratt. Now for precautionary measures. Just some soreness. There's a pop foul back out of play toward the parking lot. It's 1-2. The pitch. Breaking pitch inside. Didn't miss by much. And it's 2-2. Hoff, 14 career wins. That's number 8 on the all-time list. Swing and a miss, strike 3, 2 away. 2 consecutive strikeouts for Hoffman. Now the 9-hole hitter, left fielder Kendall Jeffers. Jeffers hitting .344 with 32 hits. He has scored 20 runs. Jeffers, no home runs, 4 doubles, 8 RBIs. Hoffman's pitch. Little jam shot popped up into shallow right. Hellman goes back, makes the catch, and a much better inning for Nolan Hoffman. 1-2-3 with a pair of strikeouts. To the bottom of the second we go. Dragons 1, Cardinals 1. Lots of action on the network tomorrow. We'll be right back here with game number 2 between Hutchinson baseball and Labette. And the Blue Dragon softball team gets underway at the Region 6 District E tournament at Hummer Park in Topeka. Their first game against the Labette Cardinals will be at noon, 11:45 a.m. airtime. Kobe Commonly will have the call for you from Hummer Park in Topeka. So double barrel action, tomorrow on the network. Right here, it's all Blue Dragon baseball. Caden Doge to lead it off the bottom of the second in a 1-1 tie. And Doge wears one right in the back on the first pitch to start the second inning from Bradley Nolan. Doge wears one for the 8th time this year. That's a 66 hit by pitch. For the Blue Dragons this year. Now the leadoff man aboard for the second straight inning, and the designated hitter, Wyatt Divis, steps in, the freshman from Lincoln, Nebraska. Second on the team in hitting at .382 with 50 total hits, 9 home runs, 52 driven in. He has been among the hottest hitters of all the Blue Dragons. Pitch taken outside, ball 1. Divis against right-handed pitching, hitting 355, Pitch. Nolan paints the outside corner with a strike, and it's 1-1. Dragons looking for their 4th Region 6 championship. They won it in 1975, 2005, and again in 2010. Slow roll to the right side, fielded by the second baseman. They go to second for 1. The return throw, and that's a double play. Trevino to Keller to Sanborn, 3-6-4, and erase the leadoff hit by pitch. Quite a few Labette fans in the stands whooping it up downstairs. So bases empty, 2 away for the catcher, Scott Wolverton. Wolverton hitting .313 with 31 hits, 5 home runs, 25 RBIs. Pitch from Nolan. That fastball misses for ball 1. Since the region instituted this format of playoffs in 2004. Pitch upstairs, 2-0. Save for 2010, 11, and 12 when the format was once again tweaked to 4 4-team sub-regionals and then the super regional in Wichita. Blue Dragons are 7-4 in these first round series. The pitch. Jam shot, pop foul, back out of play. And it's 2-1. Very first year Johnson County rolled in here in 2004 and stunned the Blue Dragons. 2-1 pitch. A little bit low, 3-1. Of course, 2005, they defeated Coffeyville in 2 straight to advance to Wichita, where they wound up winning the Region 6 title. Then came 2006 against Labette Community College. 3-1 pitch is lifted down the line to right field. Merriman giving chase, now into foul territory, but it lands well out of play. So Wolverton will return with the 2-0 count. Dragons won those games back in first weekend of May 2006 by the score of 1-0 and 12-2. That 1-0 game was the biggest 1-0 blowout in baseball history, and I'll explain why in a minute. 3-2 pitch. Grounded to the left side and past the diving shortstop Zach Keller for the Dragons' second hit of the game. Now the right fielder, Brock Schaefer. Schaefer hitting out of the 9-hole, hitting .268 with 15 hits, starting his 19th game. 2 doubles, a home run, 7 RBIs. That 2006 game, game number 1, again won by Hutchinson, 1-0. The pitch. Low one in for ball 1. Nearly a wild pitch. Good stop by Sam Donnell. Thad Weber, who was the 2006 Jayhawk West Player of the Year, second team All-American, and wound up being drafted a couple of years later after 2 very good years at Nebraska. Pitched a 3-hit shutout that afternoon. 2-0 to Schaefer. 3 infield singles. He struck out 12 in that game. Although the Dragons could only muster 1 run, which came in the 6th inning, you never thought Hutchinson was going to lose that game. The ball pulled foul, and it's 2-1. Schaefer is a guy who can make things happen at the bottom of the order. So the reasons he's seen a lot more playing time, especially in the conference series over the final 4 series of the year. 2-1 pitch. Strike at the knees, and it's 2-2. One more note on that 2006 team. They went to Wichita. Lost a 15-inning game to Seward County. Won one more game. That pitch spoiled by Schaefer, and it remains 2-2. Went 1-2 that year. That was a team with a lot of local talent on it. Luke Nacarado, Ty Abney from Hutch High, Zach Kavarna from Bueller. It was the year after Andy Dirks and Noah Kroll. Two-two pitch. Schaefer goes the other way down the line. Jeffers gives a look, but it hooks foul. And remains 2-2. Dragons 7-4 in these best of 3 series since that. There's a ground ball, foul just outside of third. Schaefer's battling. The pitch count to Bradley Nolan now up to 40 through 1 2/3 innings. That's significant because most assuredly, if Labette wants to win, Aaron Keel wants Nolan to go deep into this game. 2-2 pitch. In the dirt. And the count's full, 3-2. With 2 outs, Wolverton will get a head start on the pitch. He will not be held. Labette does have a pickoff play in this situation. Watch at some point for the first baseman to sneak in behind and try to pick the runner off. Runner goes, the pitch. That's toward the gap, right center field. On the run is Merriman. He'll chase it down onto the track, and the inning is over. But Merriman chases a shot by Schaefer down in the right center field gap, and the Dragons come up empty in the second. No runs, a hit, 1 left. To the third we go. We're tied at 1. Top of the third here at Hobart-Detter Field. Game 1 of this Region 6 best-of-3 opening series. And it's the top of the order for the Cardinals. Zach Keller singled to start the game and came around to score an unearned run. One of 2 Cardinal hits. Hoffman pitched a 1-2-3 second inning and starts the third off just like the second with a fastball to the knees for strike 1. The pitch. Curveball lifted to center field. Hackle slips on his way, still running, and he will. Did he catch it? Yes, he did. What a catch by Nolan Hackle. Keller tips his hat to Hackle on an incredible web gem type play. It may have been more routine, but when Hackle broke back, he slipped. But he still managed to chase it down with a head-first dive a la Jimmy Edmonds. And that's an incredible play by Nolan Hackle to start the third, 1 away for Dax Sanborn. Sanborn a sacrifice bunt his first time. Here's a strike. So even Zach Keller recognized that how magnificent that play was and tipped his hat. There's a strike, and it's 0-2. Here's some Labette fans thinking those pitches are a little bit low, and they're not getting the same call. 0-2 from Hoff. Fastball low and away. Love to know what Hoff's touching on the gun right now. That's as hard as I've seen him throw in quite some time. 1-2 pitch. Round ball to Cooper at short. He bobbles it. That's the second Dragon error, both by the middle infielders. One throwing, one fielding. So it's 1 on, 1 out for the 3-hole hitter, designated hitter Colton Schenker. Schenker flew out to shallow left his first time up. 0-1. So the Dragons not doing themselves or Hoff any favors defensively. Hoff just got to battle through it, get himself another ground ball. The pitch. Fastball off the plate, wide, ball 1. Dragons now with 76 team errors. They've been a .959 fielding team for the season. the pitch. It's a foul tip into the glove of Wolverton on an off-speed pitch, and it's 1-1. 75 errors and close to 1,775 chances defensively for Hutchinson. The pitch. Swinging a foul off out of play to the left. Now Hoffman up in the count on Schenker, 1-2. All 8 series getting underway today in the Region 6 tournament. The pitch. Breaking pitch low and away. Sanborn made a movement towards second but put on the brake. Sanborn is 8 for 8 in stolen bases. Labette not a big running team. They've only attempted 63 steals for the season. Runner goes, though. Pitches outside. Wolverton's throw is on the money. What a tag by Cooper. The throw was to the right field side of the bag, and Coop still got the tag down. So that erases the error. Base is empty now, 2 away. And a full count to Schenker. Here's the payoff. Ball 4. So we'll see how big that throw out of Scott Wolverton's turns out to be. Runner at second now, 2 away. Wolverton throws out his 5th runner in 14 attempts against him. Here's Israel Trevino. He reached on that error, a throwing error by Michael Hellman. That gave Labette a 1-0 lead. Hoffman's pitch. Downstairs, ball 1. Each team 1 run on 2 hits, but the Dragons have 2 errors. And those are the differences in the game right now. The first one is ball pulled foul. 1-1. The bad part for Hoff is he's now having to extend, he's had to extend 2 innings because of errors. He's sitting at 38 pitches. He could be at about 30 right now. Good pitch from Hoff on the outside corner, is located right at the knees for a strike, and it's 1-2. One-two pitch. In the dirt. Good stop by Wolverton. Staying put at first is Schenker, and it's 2-2. Chopper up the third base line, foul. There remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dragons have now thrown out 16 of 62, or check that, 16 of 45 would-be base stealers. Trying at about 36%. Right on the beam in terms of where your coaching staff wants you to be. Anywhere from that 35 to 40 range or better. Hoffman's 2-2. Low and away. Kind of rushed that pitch, and now it's a full count. So now Schenker's going to get a head start on the pitch. 3-2, 2 out. Hoffman comes set. Now makes the payoff pitch. And it's a high pop into shallow center field. Both Hoffman and Cooper, Hellman and Cooper. Hellman takes charge, and the inning is over. So the Dragons work around error and a walk. And Labette comes up scoreless, leaving 1. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Hutchinson 1, Labette 1. Welcome back to Hobart-Detter Field, everybody. Steve Carpenter with you. 1-1 the score, bottom of the third. Dragons coming up. It will be the top of the order, Cooper, Hellman, Morganson, and then Nolan Hackle. Shane Cooper led off with a walk and came around to score on Bobby Morganson's ground rule double. Got under the fence down the right field line. That tied it up. And Cooper takes low ball one from Bradley Nolan. Nolan threw 2 innings, one earned run on 2 hits. Coop swings and fouls it at the plate, 1-1. Nolan has struck out 1, hit 1, also walked 1. Giving up a single and a double. The double by Morganson, the single by Wolverton. He's also had the benefit of 1 double play. Pitch high and tight. Now it's 2-1 to Cooper. Coop's now has hit in 2 straight. That's taken low by Cooper, 3-1. The winner of this series will get the Kansas City Garden City winner. That series being played in KCK. They may be playing that at T-Bones Park. 3-1 pitch. That one's ripped down the left field line. That's a fair ball, and it's going to go all the way to the wall. Cooper will get extra bases. Jeffers hustles it in, and Shane Cooper has his 12th two-bagger of the year, 22nd extra base hit. And the leadoff man aboard for Michael Hellman. Hellman just missed his 18th home run of the year. Hit a mile-high drive to left field that Kendall Jeffers hauled in on the track. They play deep at all 3 positions in the outfield for Hellman. Pickoff play at second. Back in is Cooper, and that's one of those pickoff plays. When the shortstop breaks, the second baseman will break in behind. Aaron Keel's always been good on timing plays, trying to pick runners off and get an extra or get an added out somewhere. The pitch. Big 12-6 curve drops in for strike 1. Hellman coming off a 4-hit game with 2 home runs. He had 5 RBIs in that game last Monday against Pratt. The pitch in the dirt. Coop goes about halfway down, but Donnell chases it down and keeps him at second. That double by Cooper, Hutchinson's 3rd hit of the game. The pitch in the dirt again, another good stop by Donnell. Now Hellman has the advantage in the count at 2-1. Hellman's hitting 7 straight, looking to extend it to 8. He has a school record 25-game hitting streak. Started that in game number 2 this season. That's what got that average well above 500. 2-1 pitch, a breaking pitch well outside. Now it's 3-1. Hellman can be very picky. Likely Hellman won't see a fastball with first base open, especially behind in the count 3-1. They're not going to come at him. There was a fastball though, and it misses high, and Dragons have 2 on to start the 3rd with Bobby Morganson stepping to the plate. Morganson drove in his 80th run of the year with a double, a ground rule double that got underneath the fence down the right field line. That walk issued to Hellman, the 2nd to Bradley Nolan, also springs Some action to the Labette bullpen. Logan Portis, a right-hander from Houston, Texas, will begin to throw. So the Dragons have runners at first and second, nobody out here in the third of a 1-1 game. Again, all these Region 6 games are 9 innings. Run rules count 10 after 7 until you get to the championship games in Wichita, and then they must be played out. So, meeting on the mound is over with the Labette pitching coach. Now here's Bobby Morganson. Morganson ties Caden Doge in doubles with 19 with that first inning two-bagger. Here's the pitch. Pitch on the outside corner, a good one from Nolan, and it's strike one to Bobby. Not quite as energetic as I normally am today. We got up at 5 this morning to go set up for that golf tournament over at Cary Park. That's an undertaking of itself. The pitch swung through, looked like a changeup that missed high. Morganson swings and misses, and he's down in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Another highly successful Blue Dragon golf tournament in the books. Been highly successful under second-year athletic director Josh Gooch. The pitch, didn't miss by much. 1-2. That was a good miss on 0-2 by Nolan. I also gets Bobby to thinking the next time he's in that 0-2 situation what he might see. Cooper away from second, Helmet away from first. The pitch. Got him swinging on a nasty looking slider, one away. That's the first strikeout for Bradley Nolan. Now Nolan Hackle. Hackle hit the ball hard in the gap in right center field, and Glenn Merriman chased it down. So we see some great outfield plays, one by Merriman, one by the man stepping into the box right now, Nolan Hackle. Head first dive to make a catch off the bat of Zach Keller. Strike one from Nolan. Dragons trying to take their first lead of the series. Go-ahead runs at second base with 1 out. The pitch. In the dirt. King Coop goes about halfway down and retreats. Count even at a ball and a strike. Danny Steckline saying how deep the right fielder is. Here's the pitch. Here's a slow grounder to short. They bobble, and everybody's going to be safe. Actually, that's going to be a fielder's choice in an E6. Keller fielded it. Looked like he was going to go to 2, try to get the force. And then he couldn't get the ball out of his glove, and by the time that happened, everybody was safe. So it's a fielder's choice in an E6, and now Brady Hoover hits with the bases loaded. 1 out, here's the pitch. Breaking pitch high, ball 1. The Blue Dragons with bases loaded this year, hitting .344, 21 for 631. Hoover 1 for 5 with bases loaded. Who's had some big clutch hits this year? This would qualify into that category, with it being the postseason, even though it's early. Here's the pitch. Foul back over the press box. And it's 1-1. The outfield for the Cardinals, straight away and deep at all three positions. That's as deep as I've seen an outfield play here all year. 1-1. Breaking pitch in there. Snap throw to first, and they've got Nolan Hackle picked off. What a throw from Sam Donnell. So that changes the complexion of the inning. So a hack picked off. And now the Cardinals are an out away from getting out of a bases-loaded jam. 2-1 to Hoover. Here's the pitch. Strike at the knees, 2-2. That's the fourth time a Blue Dragon's been picked off the bases this year. Here's the 2-2. Tapped up the third base line, foul. Next half inning, we'll go through the entire Region 6 bracket and get you caught up on some scores. Two finals already in, and the home teams won both. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. The pitch. Got him swinging, the pitch is in the dirt. Donnell's going to have to go down to first. High throw, but Trevino gets it. And the Dragons can't cash on a golden opportunity. They leave 2. But the base running mistake really hurts. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left. We go to the 4th. Hutchinson 1, Labette 1. Game 2 of this series will be tomorrow afternoon, 1 p.m. first pitch, 12:45 airtime right here on the Blue Dragon Sports Network. Right now, nothing decided. We go to the 4th inning of game number 1, tied 1-1. Nolan Hoffman and pretty good pitcher's duel with Bradley Nolan. Glenn Merriman, Sam Schwartz, Sam Donnell, 5, 6, and 7 here in the Cardinal 4th to face Nolan Hoffman. One taken just a little bit low for ball 1 by Merriman, who singled his first time up. Hoffman through 3 innings, 2 hits, 1 unearned run, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. Up the middle, Hellman gets to it. Low throw, dug out by Hellman, but there's 1 away. Last year, Hellman was the National Gold Glove Award winner at second base. He's had some throwing issues this year, more throwing than fielding. 1 away for Schwartz, and there's a strike from Hoffman. Schwartz fouled out in right field, long run by Brock Schaefer to get the out to end the first inning. Hoffman's pitch hit well to center field. Hack on the run again. This time he won't get to it, and it's going to go to the wall. Schwartz will stop at second base, and it's a 1-out double. Each team now with 3 hits. That's the first extra base hit for the Cardinals. Can't tell, Labette came in on a 4-game losing streak, and we're 13 games under 500. They've come in to play hard. Now Sam Donnell took a called third to lead off the second inning. Hoffman's pitch. Right in there for a strike. The pitch. Pitch taken inside. And let's go down to the bracket here on day number 1 of the Region 6 tournament. 1-1 now to Donnell. The other half of this quarter bracket, Garden City's at KCK. That's a 9-8 matchup. No report on that. The pitch from Hoffman. Swung on and missed. It's 1-2. The other quarter bracket in this half, Coffeyville and Dodge City, now being played in Dodge City. No report there. Also, Butler's at Johnson County. Johnson County, the number 4 overall seed. They're playing those games at Cavalier Field in Overland Park. That pitch misses outside 2-0. No scores on those. Allen at Lawson Biggs Field in Great Bend. They have a 2-0 lead. Middle stages of that game over Barton. It's a bit of an upset brewing. Barton, a 40-win team this year. 2-2 pitch. That one's hit well to left field. Morganson going back, and now makes the catch. Tagging for Schwartz, but he puts the brakes on as Morganson gets it in quickly and throws a strike to Cooper. It's now a runner at second, 2 away for the center fielder, Zach Stanley. Stanley struck out swinging his first time. Neosho County and Cloud County, that game being played in Chanute. The Panthers an 11-4 winner in Game 1 of that series. Game 2, of course, tomorrow. Ball 1 from Hoffman. Fort Scott at Colby. Fort Scott has a 1-run lead, 3-2, I believe, in the middle stages of that game. And in the final matchup, Seward County at Cali. Cali, the Jayhawk East champion this year. 15-1 Tigers in 7 innings. That's a final. That one tap foul by Stanley, and it's 1-1. Hoffman gets a sign from Scott Wolverton. Now delivers. Just a little bit low, 2-1. Fort Scott was 3-2, bottom of the 7th now at Colby. Colby was an upset victim 1 year ago, playing at home, lost a ground ball. Cooper gets to it, spins, throws, and gets the runner to end the inning. That's the All-American we've come to know. Good play by Cooper. No runs, a hit, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. It's still the Dragons 1 and the Cardinals 1. Caden Doge leads off the bottom of the fourth of a 1-1 game. Steve Carpenter with you. Brandon Sams and the video crew also here. Denny Steckline on the PA. Caden Doge hit by a pitch his first time up. Nearly gets hit again. Dragons have had the leadoff man aboard in each of the first 3 innings. They've only scored 1. Foul tipped. Count even now 1-1. Caden Doge, of course, the career leader in home runs with 40. 31, that was a single season record last year. Pitch way upstairs, 2-1 to Doge. Doge coming in today hitting .306 with 59 total hits. Now tied for the team lead with 19 doubles. He swings and hits one a mile high, giving chase to Schwartz and Keller. Keller still fights it and makes the catch. Another shot hit up to the stratosphere. Norad was tracking that one. But Doge fouls out for out number 1 to start the fourth. Now Wyatt Divis. He hit into a 3-6-4 double play that was started by a tremendous fielding attempt by Israel Trevino. Once he fielded it, turned into a fairly routine double play. Ball 1 to Wyatt. That was the 70th pitch for Nolan, so one would stand to reason he's not going to go the distance today. Downstairs for a ball, 2-0. Yes. 71 pitches, 36 strikes for Nolan. He's only given up a run and 3 hits. Fastball located at the knees for a strike, and it's 2-1. Another good located fastball from Nolan. It's 2-2. Dragons normally a very aggressive swinging team, a little bit passive right now. Divis spoils that offering. Stays alive at 2-2. Last year, Independence came in here and gave the Dragons everything they wanted in games 2 and 3. 2-2 pitch misses high. The Blue Dragons absolutely routed Independence in the first game last year. I think they had things well in hand, but then Independence just started hitting the ball all up and down the order. The payoff to Divis. Outside ball 4, a 1-out walk. And is now 3 walks issued by Nolan. 2 strikeouts. Check that, 3 strikeouts. That'll bring up Scott Wolverton, who singled his last time up. After Independence's onslaught in game number 2, it continued into game number 3 the next day, and Hutchinson found itself down 8-0 after a couple innings. Chipped away and came back to win it. Head to Wichita. Wolverton swings over the top of that breaking pitch, and it's 0-1. Another curveball low from Nolan. Count evens at a ball and a strike. Wolverton looking much better after that foul tip incident a month ago up in Great Bend when he foul tipped a bunt attempt into his mouth. There's a swing and a pop up and will get out of play. 1-2 the count now to the Dragon catcher. One of the more painful looking pitchers, but Scott really came away lucky. No dental damage, just a cut lip. 1-2 pitch. Misses low, a breaking pitch, 2-2. Good discipline by Wolverton, not chasing that. That was a pretty good pitch. High chopper, slowly hit to short, charging is Keller. He's got it. They go back, and now overrunning the bag is Davis, and he is out for out number 2. So another base running blunder by the Dragons cost them runners at first and second and 1 out. It'll be a fielder's choice. And then Davis being tagged out by the second baseman, Sanborn. I'm giving it a fielder's choice. Pitch in the dirt to Schaefer. I think they're asking for an appeal down to the first base umpire, Sam Schartz. No appeal was granted until it's 1-0 on Schaefer. The pitch. Outside 2-0. Brock, his first time up, hit the ball well to right field. But Delim Merriman was right on top of it. The pitch. Three 0 the count now to Schaefer. Cooper, the leadoff man on deck. Ball 4. So 2 walks in the inning. Yet the Dragons should have the bases loaded, but don't. Now Shane Cooper gets a 2-out opportunity. Blue Dragons with 177 2-out RBIs this year. 333 hitting team with 2 outs. Cooper hitting 377 with 2 men out in an inning. He's driven in 17 2-out runs. Dragons still looking for their first lead of the game and the series. Ground ball to short. Keller has it. He'll go to first, and the inning is over. So Nolan works out of the jam. He walks 2. Allows none. We go to the 5th, tied 1-1. Top of the 5th, 9-1-2 against Nolan Hoffman. Kendall Jeffers bunts through 1 for strike 1. Jeffers popped out to second baseman Michael Hellman. Jeffers a 344 hitter out of the 9-hole. Pitched low from Hoffman. Hoff's pitched well. Probably should be a 1-0 game. Dragons have had a couple of defensive errors. One that really cost him. There's a ground ball up the middle. Hellman will get to it. Throws a strike to first for out number 1. Jeffers now 2 for 2. Now Hoffman will make his third trip through the order. And Zach Keller, last time up, absolutely robbed of a hit on a great head-first dive and catch by Nolan Hackle in center field. Keller 1 for 2. That pitch taken inside for ball 1. He singled and scored in the first. Scored on the throwing error by Hellman. Here's a strike. Ground ball once again to Hellman. Plays it on a big hop. Two-way. 4 in a row retired by Hoff. 5 out of his last 6. 6 out of his last 7. 2 up, 2 down for Dax Sanborn, the second baseman. 0 for 1, a sacrifice bunt, and reached on an error. Shane Cooper, a fielding error, back in the third. The ball is smoked to left field for a hit. Well hit ball to left by Sanborn, the team's leading hitter. Sanborn with his 64th hit of the year. Runner at second, 2 away for Colton Schenker. Schenker walked his last time up. He's 0 for 1. The pitch. First pitch swing. Schenker fouls it off. Hits are now tied at 4 apiece. That scoring play in the bottom of the third. Scott Wolverton was given a base hit instead of a fielder's choice. We look back at the stream. He would have beaten the play out. So he's going to be credited with a base hit. Now hits a tied at 4 apiece. 1-1 the count now to Schenker. The pitch. That ball's well hit to right. Going back is Schaefer. It's high off the wall. Coming around third is Sanborn. The throw will come into second. Labette has the lead at 2-1. Schenker just missed a home run. It hit high off the right field wall. So Sanborn scores from first on the 2-out double. Schenker drives in his 38th of the year with his 11th double. And now Israel Trevino, 0 for 2, an error and a pop up to second base. Breaking pitch, a beauty from Hoffman, swung through and missed for strike 1. Blue Dragon opponent is hitting .275 with 2 outs. That was the 97th 2-out RBI allowed by Hutchinson this year. The 0-1, breaking pitch inside. Ryan Schmidt and I talked about it in the pregame show. This was not going to be easy despite the 1-8 matchup. The pitch. Fouled out of play to the right. It's 1-2. Right now, the West not faring too well. Seward and Cloud have both been beat. Hutch and Barton are behind. Or Seward and Cloud, excuse me, both got beat. And the dirt blocked by Wolverton. When it's come Region 6 the last 2 years, the Jayhawk East has gotten the better of the West. Been, I believe, 4 years since the Jayhawk West team advanced to Grand Junction. Hoffman takes a look at second. Looks again. Now time called at the plate and is granted to Torino. Here's the pitch. Was lifted to right field and deep. Schaefer going back. He's at the track. Reaches up and he made the catch. What an effort by Brock Schaefer to save the inning. Another web gem by the Dragon outfield. Schaefer climbs the wall and brings it back, and that'll do it. But Labette gets a run, a do-out double by Schenker. 1 run, 2 hits. We're halfway through in game number 1. Labette 2 and Hutchinson 1. Blue Dragons have had base runners in every inning, but they've only punched one across coming in the first on Bobby Morganson's one-out double to score Shane Cooper. Now Hutchinson trails 2-1 on the double by Colton Schenker. Michael Hellman, Bobby Morganson, Nolan Hackle. The heart of the Dragon order here in the 5th. Hutch has been out hit 5-4. Hellman steps up 0 for 1 with a walk. The pitch. There's a bunt foul. Pitch count for Nolan up to 87. So we'll see how far Aaron Keel goes with him. Hellman pulls that one foul, hit hard. And it's 2-2. In game 2 tomorrow at 1 o'clock. We'll be on the air at 12:45. Now the 0-2. That one's in the dirt. Nolan 4 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 3 strikeouts, 4 walk, 1 wild pitch, 1 hit batter. The pitch to Hellman. Way outside, 2-2. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to short. Keller a few steps to his right. Throws low. And Hellman's got it beat. That's a hit. Hellman had it beat. So Hellman gets a leadoff single. The Dragons get their 4th leadoff man aboard in 5 innings. They're 1 for 3. Michael Hellman is okay. Jamel Cervantes talking to him. Also, Aaron Keel was out talking to first base umpire Sam Schartz. Here's Bobby Morganson. Drove in his 80th run of the year with a double in the first. It was a ground rule double that got under the fence down the right field line. That allowed Cooper to score. Let's see if Hellman's going to be in motion here, trying to kick-start the Dragon offense. The pitch to Hellman, way outside, ball one. Where would this game be right now without the web gem catches of Nolan Hackle and Brock Schaefer? Dragons would be way further down than 2-1 for sure. No one comes set. That one sent toward the gap in left center field. On the run is Jeffers. He will chase it down. Hellman almost got to second base. He retreats. So the Dragons hitting the gaps hard. More times than not, it's the Labette outfielders chasing them down. There's Nolan Hackle. Hackle's lined out and reached on a fielder's choice. 2 runs, 5 hits, 1 error for Labette. 1 run, 5 hits, 2 errors for Hutchinson. First baseman Israel Trevino in talking with Bradley Nolan, so maybe something's on here. Hellman, the team high, 26 stolen bases in 30 attempts. 53 career steals, that makes him number 8 on the career list. Hellman goes on the pitch. It's taken for a strike to throw down. He's in there. The ball gets away from Zach Keller, but it is stolen base number 27 for Hellman. Don't be surprised if he takes off on this pitch. So a runner in scoring position with less than 2 out. A chance for Hackle to tie it up. No one steps off. Right now the Dragons looking for that one big hit. Hacks hit the ball well. The pitch. Out one into right field. That's a base hit. Schmidt will wave Hellman. Here comes the throw from Jeffers. It's cut off and we're tied. An RBI single by Nolan Hackle. Hack with his 38th RBI of the year. We're tied at 2. Well, it sounds like a really good crowd downstairs making some noise. You can't see a ton of the crowd as we sit right above the top of them. So Hackle ties it up, driving in Hellman. Hackle's now hit in 9 straight. Hellman's hit in 8 straight. And Brady Hoover, the batter, who struck out twice. Brady really the only Dragon who's gone into kind of a mini slump. Breaking pitch falls in there for strike 1. That was pitch number 97 for Bradley Nolan. Hack a good bet to go. No one thinks so and goes that way. Nolan Hackle 10 for 10 in stolen bases. The Dragons now have 4 players with 10 or more. Hackle and Julian Ripp with 10 each. Caden Doge with 12, and now Hellman with 27. The pitch. Breaking pitch looped into right field. That's going to drop for a hit. Hackle makes the turn, heads for third. He will get there without a play. And the Dragons have him on the corner with 1 out. First hit of the game for Hoover. He's 1 for 3, dropping an opposite field single into right field. And now Caden Doge with an RBI opportunity. Aaron Keel is going to talk to his catcher, Sam Donnell, who might be hurt. Aaron Keel is, I think we might have some equipment issues. It is an equipment issue. One of the straps on his chest protector broke, so he'll have a momentary delay. Oh, it was the it was the belt in his pants that broke. That's about the third time this year I've already seen somebody belt break. Guess they don't make them like they used to. Oh, I set myself up for that one so bad. Thank you very little, Denny Steckline. So the Dragons would have tied it up at 2-2 here in the bottom of the fifth. Every time Labette scores, the Dragons have answered. Now, Ryan Schmidt would love to see his team put a little pressure on the Cardinals and take a lead. Dragons very adept at the double steal. Pretty good combination with Hoover and Hackle. Caden Doge, the batter. Caden has been hit by a pitch and fouled out. Dragons now with 7 hits. They've out-hit the Cardinals 7-5. Here's the pitch. Pulled foul. And the crowd continues to grow here. I saw Assistant Athletic Director Steve Kapman, and he brought his new little son Landry to his very first baseball game today. Nolan comes at the pitch. Swing and a miss. On pitch number 100 by Bradley Nolan, he has an 0-2 advantage on Caden Doge. Runners at the corners, two-way. Caden now crowds the plate. Here's the 0-2. Got him swinging on a breaking pitch, two-away. Here's Wyatt Davis, going to take a 2-out knock from him. The pitch. Little ground ball through into left field for a base hit. The Dragons have the lead. Hackle scores. And a nice little opposite field single by Wyatt Davis. Driving in his 53rd of the year, and the Dragons have their first lead of the game at 3-2. A well-placed ground ball. Third hit of the inning, 8th of the game, and now it's Scott Wolverton who's 2 for 2. Again, his last time up, initially scored a fielder's choice. We went back on the stream. He would have beat the throw out, so that play has been changed to a base hit. So he's 2 for 2, couple of singles. Dragons only have 2 extra base hits, doubles by Cooper and Morganson. Hoover at second, Davis at first, the pitch. Strike called. So 4 2/3 innings puts Bradley Nolan over the 100 pitch count. Nolan steps off. Dragons with 1 in the first, 2 here in the 5th. Labette with 1 in the first, 1 in the top of the 5th. Dragons look for another 2-out knock here. Wolverton checks his swing on a high fastball, and it's 1-1. Dragons have had 2 tremendous defensive plays in the outfield. A diving catch by Nolan Hackle, and then Brock Schaefer climbing the wall and right. 1-1 pitch. Strike called to the knees, 1-2. Wolverton has a 2-out hitter this year, just 7 for 35. He has 5 2-out RBIs. All these runs in this inning have come with 2 out for both teams. 1-2 pitch. Ooh, didn't miss by much. Tight little slider from Nolan just off the plate. He thought he had it. You can tell by his body language. Now the 2-2. Inside out swing. Jamel Cervantes one hand bears it, or bare hand fields it, and then points right to Denny Steckline and says, "Tweet this." We've had a lot of fun with Jamel on Twitter this year. 2-2 pitch. Little chopper up the middle, charging is Keller. He gets to it, throws, and it gets past the first baseman. Coming down the line to score is Hoover to make it 4-2. They hold Divis at third. It'll be a throwing error on Keller. But the run scores to make it 4-2. Here's Brock Schaefer. Denny Steckline is just a one-man comic team up here in the press box today. Schaefer has flew out to right and walked. Dragons with 3 in the inning to take a 4-2 lead. Each team's now committed 2 errors. There's a strike. I'm going to go back and take a look at that one, too. That's the exact same type of hit he had in the previous at bat, so. Pitch outside, 1-1. So we'll go back and take a look at that. One good thing about the streams, we get to do that now. We get to correct some mistakes that I love being able to go back and look at it up here in the press box. 1-1 pitch. Big swing by Schaefer. Pounds it back to the netting. I'm sure if Thomas Nelson were here, he'd be looking at Denny Steckline to see if Denny flinched. Here's a 1-2. Called strike 3, outside corner, and the inning is over. But the Dragons come back big. 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error, and 2 left on base. We've completed 5 at Hobart-Detter Field in game number 1. Our new score, Hutchinson 4 and Labette 2. Fly ball to center field. It drops in front of Nolan Hackle for a leadoff single by Deland Merriman. So it's a leadoff single for Labette here in the 6th. Now Sam Schwartz, the third baseman. 6th hit of the game for the Cardinals. Merriman's 2 for 3. Now Sam Schwartz 1 for 2 with a double. Breaking pitch from Hoffman for a strike. Once again, Scott Wolverton gets the benefit of being able to look back on the stream. His error charge to Zach Keller will now be given a base hit. Bunt popped up, and it will reach the roof. Ryan Schmidt described this Cardinal team one word, scrappy. We have seen that so far here in game number 1. Dragons with 3 runs in the bottom of the 5th to take a 4-2 lead. The pitch. Didn't miss by much, and it's 1-2. Both pitchers have had a lot of close 0-2 calls. The pitch. Called strike 3. Nolan Hoffman with just his 3rd strikeout of the afternoon. So now Sam Donnell, 0 for 2, struck out, looking and flew out to left. The pitch. A little bit high, ball 1. On that play by Scott Wolverton, it would be a single credited to Wolverton, but a throwing error on Keller, allowing Brady Hoover to score. Still no RBI on the play. Either way, the Dragons scored a run. There's a fastball a little bit low. 2-0 to Donnell. So now the Dragons have out-hit the Cardinals 9-6, each team with 2 errors. The pitch. Here's a fastball for a strike. Nolan stayed a lot with the fastball this afternoon. Especially that 3-week stretch where he didn't pitch very well. He was throwing a lot more secondary stuff and not throwing nearly enough fastballs. 2-1 pitch. Inside, 2-1. Check that, 3-1. The 3-1. Got him. Or swing and a miss. Full count. Got a little bit ahead of myself. That's what happens when Travis Morrissey's standing next to me, the Hutch News photographer. He and I have known each other probably more years than we care to think about. Good heavens, it has been 18, hasn't it? Now the payoff from Hoffman to Donnell. Slow grounder to third, fielded by Caden Delgate. Only play will be to first. Nice catch on a low throw by Brady Hoover, and there's 2 away as Merriman goes to second. Definitely not a double play ball. And with that ball being slowly hit, Caden had no opportunity to go to second. He had no momentum going that way, so he took the shooter out at first. And that'll bring up Zach Stanley, the 8-hole hitter, who struck out and grounded out to short. Hoffman comes set. The pitch. Curveball misses inside, ball 1. Outfield shallow at all 3 positions for the Dragons. Not much wind to speak of. It's a gorgeous afternoon here in Hutchinson. The pitch. High chopper up the middle. And Cooper can't get to it. It glances off his glove. Rounding third is Merriman. And that makes the score 4-3. So here come the Cardinals, and another 2-out hit. Perfectly placed up the middle. Cooper got a glove on it, but he wasn't going to get Stanley. So Stanley now 1 for 3. That's a hit. Here's Kendall Jeffers, the left fielder, 0 for 2. Tying run at first base with 2 out here in the 6th. Here's a strike from Hoffman, 0-1. Hoffman's pitch count now up to 85. Ryan Schmidt might extend him a little bit longer. He didn't throw last week. There's a swing and a pop-up. Shallow left. Back goes Cooper. In comes Morganson. It's Cooper. Not coming back into the infield. He's got it, and the inning is over. But Labette comes up with another 2-out RBI. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 left on. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Our new score, Dragons 4 and the Cardinals 3. Bradley Nolan goes back out for the 6th inning. His pitch count up to 112. So Aaron Keel's going to try to get one more out of him. This is a 1-run game. 4-3 Hutchinson leads. Top of the order, 4th time around against Nolan, Cooper, Hellman, and Morganson. Coop 1 for 2, walked and scored in the 1st, doubled in the 3rd. Dragons about hit Labette 9-7, but the Cardinals are right in this game 1 as the postseason begins. Coop, first pitch swinging, pops it up. About right side foul territory. Israel Trevino gives the chase, but no room. Lands out of play for strike 1. This game markedly different than the game 1 against Independence last year, which the Dragons scored 23 runs. Coop takes a breaking pitch inside, ball 1. The numbers on Nolan through 5 innings. 9 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned. He struck out 5, walked 4, hit 1 with 1 wild pitch. Breaking pitch misses. And it's 2-1. 2-1 pitch. Check swing. They appealed down. And he did check it. 3-1 now. Coop bidding for his 35th walk of the year. Instead, he pulls that one foul to make the count full. Action once again in the Labette bullpen. It's a left-hander. Taylor Woods. Here's the 3-2. Pulled foul. You wonder if this isn't Bradley Nolan's last batter, or next to last batter. He's got the right-handed Cooper, then the right-handed Hellman. Then following them will be the left-handed hitting Morganson. Here's the payoff to Coop. That one's hit well to center field and deep. Stanley back at the track, though. He makes the catch. 1 away. Coop just didn't get enough elevation. He's now 1 for 3, and that'll bring up Michael Hellman, the second baseman. Hellman extended his current hitting streak to 8 games with the leadoff single in the 5th. He scored a run, 1 for 2 with a walk. .498 average coming into the afternoon. That leads the nation. Pitch inside, that hit him. So 1 out hit by pitch. The second time Nolan's hit a batter. And we'll see if Aaron Keel will make the move. They check down there to see if he's ready. No move by Aaron Keel at the dugout yet, so it looks like Nolan's going to get the opportunity to face Morganson. Morganson in the first inning, an RBI double. Now it took as long as they could before Morganson climbed in. This will be the pitching coach, and the call has been made to the bullpen, and we will see the Labette lefty coming in. We'll tell you about him right after this break. Left-hander Taylor Woods, a 5'11", 175-pound sophomore from Winfield, enters the game. Make a lefty-lefty matchup with Bobby Morganson. Woods on for the 15th time, no record, and an 8.35 earned run average. 18 in the third innings pitched, 26 hits allowed, 25 runs, 17 of those earned. He has struck out 21 and walked 11. And hasn't hit a batter. He strikes out 10.3 every 9 innings, so he's a strikeout-type pitcher. But the little-known secret, he's facing Bobby Morganson. This is a lefty-lefty matchup, and Bobby Morganson hits lefties at a 431 clip, hits righties at a 358 clip. Morganson 1 for 3 in RBI double, his 80th RBI of the year. 4-3 Hutch, bottom of the 6th, runner at first, 1 away. The pitch. Slider low and outside, ball 1. So Bradley Nolan gave Aaron Keel everything that he needed. Here's the pitch. That pitch kicks away. Catcher can't find it. Hellman's up to second base. Wild pitch charge to Woods. Now it's an RBI opportunity for Morganson. Time call by Morganson. And Wood was just coming set. The pitch. Breaking pitch misses inside, a little bit high, 3-0. Wonder if Ryan Schmidt would green light Morganson right here. Low ball 4. Dragons have 2 on without the benefit of a hit. And the man who tied it up in the 5th comes up, chance to extend the Dragon lead here in the 6th, Nolan Hackle. Hackle's hit the ball well all 3 times. Hack with an RBI single that tied the game at 2. He eventually came around to score to give the Dragons the lead. Here's the pitch. In their first strike. Defensively, first baseman Israel Trevino not holding Morganson. Last pitch he played in front of him, now he's playing behind. Third baseman Sam Schwartz playing back. The 0-1. Good slider, swing and a miss. Hellman was halfway down on the secondary but returns. Now Hackles down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Right now the difference in the game, a 3-run 5th inning for Hutchinson. The pitch. Inside, not by much, and it's 1-2. Hackle against lefties hitting .353. The pitch. Got him swinging on an off-speed pitch. Now there's 2 away for Brady Hoover. Who 1 for 3. He singled. Mack in the 5th. Opposite field single. He pulls this one foul. Four runs, 9 hits, 2 errors for Hutch. 3 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors for Labette. The Dragons have stranded 8 on base. Labette 6. The 0-1. Strike at the knees, inside corner, and it's 0-2. Kind of a quirky 3/4 arm motion by Woods. He steps off. Gives a look at Hellman. Now resets. 0-2. There's the pitch. That's up the middle. That's going to get down for a hit. Hellman being waved around third. The throw from Stanley is not in time, and now it kicks away. And the runners will move up, so it'll be a hit, RBI, and an error on the center fielder, Zach Stanley, and the Dragons regain their 2-run lead at 5-3. Hoover's second hit of the game. Now Caden Doge will be the batter. Ball 1 to Doge, who is 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch in the second. The pitch. Way outside. 2-0. Pitch to Doge. Nice stop by Donnell. And it's 3-0 to Caden Doge with Wyatt Divis on deck. Divis, one of the hottest Dragons. $14 for his last 24 is Wyatt Divis. That drops in there on the cripple. Now it's 3-1 to the Dragon third baseman. Woods works out of the windup. Time call as he goes into the motion. That hit by Hoover. Here's the 3-1. And the dirt kicks away. Coming down the line is Morganson. He will score with ease to make it 6-3. It's ball 4 to Doge. Hoover moves up to third. Now Wyatt Divis, the batter. Divis singled his last time up, drove in a run. Now 6-3 Hutch, their biggest lead of the day of 3 runs. Doge at first, Hoover at third. The pitch in the dirt again. 17 pitches by Taylor Woods, only 7 for strikes. A right-hander throwing in the Labette bullpen. The pitch. Big slow slider swung on a missed strike, 1. Now 1-1 the count to the designated hitter, Divis. Cooper flew out. Hellman was hit by a pitch. Morganson walked. Heckel struck out. Hoover drove in. Hellman with a base hit. A pitch in the dirt. 2-1. And Morganson scored on a wild pitch. Right now that's an unearned run. Doge walked, and it's runners at first and third with 2 out. And a 2-1 count on Wyatt Divis. The pitch. Hit high and deep to left center field. And it is off the base of the wall. Hoover scores. Doge was flying around. He will score with these, and it is 8-3 Blue Dragons. A 4-run sixth. Opposite field double for Divis. He drives in his second and third runs of the game. His 15th double, RBIs 54 and 55, and we're going to have a pitching change. We'll tell you about the new Labette pitcher right after this break. Right-hander Cody Oliphant, a 6'3", 230-pound freshman from Fort Osage, Missouri, becomes the third pitcher of the inning. He'll face Scott Wolverton, the 8th batter of the inning. The Dragons have broken this one open with a 4-run sixth. The numbers on Oliphant. Making his 19th appearance, 2-4. With a 5.97 earned run average. Oliphant has 1 complete game. 37 2/3 innings pitched, 53 hits, 36 runs, 25 earned. He struck out 19 and walked 10. So the impressive effort by Bradley Nolan goes by the wayside. He is still the pitcher of record. He went 5 1/3. Woods goes 1/3 of an inning, gives up 2 hits and 3 runs. The runner on base. Wyatt Divis is still his responsibility, and now Oliphant goes to work, and it's a hard ground ball to third, fielded by Swartz. The throw, did it pull him off? No, they say he kept the bag. And Jamel Cervantes is wanting Ryan Schmidt to go ask for help. That was a bit iffy. Ryan Schmidt's going to go talk to first base umpire Sam Schartz. And hopefully eventually he's going to ask Nathan Garrison for help, but I don't think it's going to be granted. So Wolverton is retired. The Dragons, though, come up with 4 runs on 2 hits. There was 1 error and 1 left on base. The chat between Ryan Schmidt and Sam Schartz continues. And that's going to do it. So we're through 6 at Hobart-Detter Field. Our new score, Hutchinson 8 and Labette 3. This is Blue Dragon Baseball. Well, things have turned a little bit around for the Jayhawk West. Barton now up 7-2 on Allen into the 7th inning at Lawson Biggs Field in Great Bend. And now Hutchinson on back-to-back big innings. 3 runs in the 5th, 4 runs in the 6th. Leads a very scrappy Labette team. 8-3 as we go to the final 3 innings of this one. Nolan Hoffman back to the mound. He gets the top of the order. Keller, Sanborn, and Schenker. Keller 1 for 3. He was one of the batters that got robbed on a great play by Nolan Hackle. Hard hit ball to short. Cooper has it. Makes a strong throw to first in time for the first out of the 7th. It is now 87 pitches for Nolan Hoffman, now through 6 1/3 innings. Hoffman has allowed 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned. He has struck at only 3 and walked 1. 8 fly ball outs, 7 ground ball outs in 87 total pitches. And Dax Sanborn, the batter, 1 for 3. Fort Scott defeats Colby at Colby 5-2 final. So that's 3 wins for the Jayhawk East so far on day number 1. Nice pitch on the inner half, foul back out of play. And it's 1-1 to Sanborn. Last year, Colby was upset in 2 games by Coffeyville. Fort Scott's a dangerous team. Pitch in the dirt, 2-1. Fort Scott 2 years ago came in and stunned the Blue Dragons. Beat him in 2 straight right here at Hobart-Detter Field. Hoff into the wind, the 2-1. Strike at the knees, 2-2. 91 pitches, 59 strikes for Hoff. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And there's 2 away. 4 strikeouts now for Hoffman. That gives him let me find it here. 74 for the year. Colton Schenker. Ground ball roller along first, right to Hoover. 1 step to the bag, and it's a 1-2-3 7th inning for Nolan Hoffman. We go to the stretch. here at Hobart-Detter Field. Hutchinson 8, Labette 3. Brock Schaefer to lead off the bottom of the 7th, 8-3 Hutchinson. Brock Schaefer has had a pretty good afternoon, especially defensively. First pitch to Brock is on the outside corner, strike 1 from Cody Oliphant. Schaefer took a called third. He's walked and flown out. Hard hit ball, foul outside of third. Going to take a poll here on the press box. Better catch, Hackles or Brock Schaefer's? And they're giving it to Hackle. I would agree. 0-2 pitch. Hit well to the left. Drifting back a few steps is Jeffers. He's got it. That ball died. I think it was more off the end of the bat. So Schaefer 0 for 3, and the top of the order comes up for the 5th time in this one. Shane Cooper 1 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. Coop held the Blue Dragon single season hits record for all of one season before his double play mate Michael Holman passed him up this year. Coop pulls that one foul. Coop had a 14-game hitting streak earlier this year, and then went completely over against Colby, and been battling a little bit since. That pitch misses. Again, it's 1-1. He and Jamel Cervantes were working, going middle away with everything, and it got the confidence back. And there's a little middle away shot to right field for a base hit. Just what we were talking about, pitching on the hands. But Coop got the hands pulled inside of it and goes the opposite way for Hutchinson's 12th hit of the game. Coop's second hit. They'll bring up Michael Hellman. Cooper now with 24 multi-hit games. This is his 18th two-hit game. Now Michael Hellman. Mike 1 for 2. He's walked and been hit by a pitch, scored 2 runs. Pitch from Oliphant is ball 1. Hellman now has 93 runs scored. That pitch in there kicks away. Cooper's trying for second to throw down. And he's safe. Ball was never held by the shortstop, Zach Keller. Or second baseman, Dak Sanborn. It's going to be a bang-bang play. But it'll be a wild pitch charged to Oliphant. Now Cooper's in scoring position with less than 2 out. There's the pitch. Taken low for a ball, 3-0. It's about to say that third baseman playing back. Might be a butt opportunity for Michael, but now 3-0. And it's inside ball 4. So Hellman reaches base for the 4th time in a row. Twice by walk, once by hit, once by a hit by pitch. And now it's Bobby Morganson. Morganson faced Taylor Woods and worked a walk. That was kind of the key at bat that inning. Aaron Keel had made the call to the bullpen for the lefty-lefty matchup. And then things fell apart for Woods against Hackle and Hoover. Pitch in the dirt for ball 1. Update from Great Bend. Barton with a 7-5 lead over Allen as they go to the top of the 9th. So the Jayhawk West looking for their first victory of the afternoon. So far, Jayhawk East teams are 3-0 in the early returns. The pitch. Wow, that pitch was called a strike. Zone has seemed to expand here in the last couple of innings. Pitch upstairs, and it's 2-1. So advantage Morganson. 2-1 the count. Coop at second, Hellman at first, the pitch. That ball is hit high to right center field and deep. Stanley at the fence and makes the catch. Just short of the 380 mark. Cooper tags and goes to third, but that's like the third one we've seen to the warning track today. So Morganson hits it a ton, but out to center fielder Zach Stanley. Cooper moves up to third. Now runners at the corners, 2 away for Nolan Hackle. Hackle with an RBI single in the 5th. He struck out swinging in the 6th, 1 for 4. That RBI, his 38th of the year back in the 5th. And again, that tied the game at 2. Oliphant comes set. Now delivers. A little slow roller short. Charging is Keller. He fields. Goes on to first in time. And the Dragons are done in the 7th. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left. We head to the 8th inning at Hobart-Detter Fielding. Game number 1. Dragons 8 and Labette 3. Score update from Cavalier Field in Dodge City. They're one of the late games getting under the way. Barton won. Barton defeats Allen 7-5 in their first game. So the West gets their first win of this postseason. Dodge City and Coffeyville, the Cavalier Field in Dodge City 0-0 after 1. Now Nolan Hoffman heads out to the mound for the 8th inning. He's got Trevino, Merriman, and Schwartz. Israel Trevino 0 for 3. Reached on an error in the first that allowed the first run to score. And Nolan Hoffman misses low ball 1 on his 94th pitch of the game. The pitch. Inside 2-0. Nolan Hoffman threw 7 innings. 7 hits allowed, 3 runs, 2 earned, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk. There's a strike. Will Irvin starts to throw in the dragon pen. 2-1 is fouled back to the screen. A birdie kick cut by Trevino. 2-2 the count now. Hoff looks determined out there. Takes a big breath and now goes into the windup. 2-2 pitch low and away. 3-2. Off pitch last time out against Longview. Now the payoff to Trevino. Foul tipped into the glove of Wolverton. That's a strikeout, and there's one away in the Cardinal eighth. 5 strikeouts now for Nolan Hoffman. That'll bring up Dallin Merriman. Merriman, 2 singles and 3 at bats, 1 run scored. Hoffman's pitch, swing and a miss. And that was pitch number 100 for Nolan Hoffman. Here's the 0-1. Grounded up the middle. Cooper can't get to it, and it's through for a base hit. 3rd hit of the game for Dallin Merriman. He has 3 of Labette's 8 hits. And now it'll be Sam Schwartz. Oregon. The newest Blue Dragons up in the press box. Hoffman's pitch. A fastball for a strike. Interesting, just the change in his pitching rotation. Off with a lot more strikes today. Went anywhere from 88 to 92. In terms of speed, miles per hour. Swing and a miss. Kicks away. And moving up to second on the wild pitch is Merriman. Nothing into the count. Hoffman comes set. Now delivers the 0-2 to Merriman. Strike him out, 2 away. 6 strikeouts for Nolan Hoffman. He appears to be getting stronger. And that'll bring up Sam Donnell. Donnell 0 for 3. He struck out, flown out, and grounded out to third baseman Caden Doge. Hoffman takes a look at second, now delivers. And there for a strike. Bullpen quiet for the Dragons. Will Irwin has been tossing. Now he's just watching the action. Here's the 0-1. Fastball misses inside, 1-1. 106 pitches, 70 for strikes for Hoffman. Nice ratio. Here's the 1-1. Upstairs, still good life on that fastball, but it's 2-1. Back at it again tomorrow, 1 o'clock, 12:45 first pitch. We'd love to see you out here. There's the 2-1. Ooh, didn't miss by much. Wolverton tried to frame it as best he could, but he couldn't buy the call. And now it's 3-1 to Donnell. Zach Stanley would be next. Here's the 3-1. Strike at the knees, full count. Hoffman steps off for a moment. Press box noticing that every time Labette scores first, the Dragons score. Labette's yet to plate one here in the 8th. 3-2 pitch. Ooh, didn't miss by much. Fastball just missed inside. Hoff wanted it and would have struck out the side. But it's now 2 on and 2 out for Zach Stanley. Just the second walk for Nolan Hoffman. And Ryan Schmidt comes out of the bullpen. Ryan Schmidt's going to stick with Nolan Hoffman. Garrison, the home plate umpire, went and broke it up. He stayed out there as long as he could. Dayton Lane now officially warming up in the pen. I understand that Victor Cervantes is checking in on the stream. He is Jamel Cervantes' uncle. Now Hoffman works against Zach Stanley, and it's ball 1 to Stanley. So 111 pitches, and Nolan might be starting to run out of juice a little bit. The pitch. Ball 2. We understand that Victor Cervantes is a tremendous fielder, runs very fast, and after watching Jamel for 2 years, that's everything that Jamel is not. That's from Denny Stuckline. Here's the 2-2, or 2-0 pitch. Here's the strike. So thanks for watching in, Victor. We love to pick on your nephew. You can thank Caitlin Cervantes for a little help on that, too. Caitlin was an accomplice. Here's the 2-1 from Hoffman. That's on the outside corner for a strike, and it's 2-2. Hoff may be facing his last batter one way or the other. Up to 114 pitches. 2 on, 2 out here in the bottom of the, or top of the 8th. 8-3 Hutch. Pitch. Inside, nearly got him, and the count's full. So the runs are going to be going on the pitch. Merriman at second. And Donnell at first. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Hoffman comes set. Runners go. And it's fouled out of play to the right into the parking lot. We'll do it again. Game number 2 of this series tomorrow at 1 here at Hobart-Detter Field. We'll be on the air about 12:45 on the network. Hoffman comes set. The runners go. The pitch. Foul back again. Pitch counting up to 117. Well, if anything, the base runners are getting a workout, maybe a little bit gassed. Tying run still sits in the dugout, and that's where Ryan Schmidt wants to keep him. Once again, the runners go the pitch. Sprayed foul pass first. Just got a text from softball player Tori Carruthers. They're all watching up on the way to Topeka. Best of luck to the Blue Dragons softball team tomorrow. You'll be able to see them on the network as well. So thank you, Tori. Once again, the 3-2 runners go. Ground ball to third. Doge has it. Takes his time. Fires to first in time, and that'll do it for the Cardinals in the 8th. They get a couple on, but strand him. Labette stranded 8 through 8. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Hutchinson 8 and Labette 3. Hoover, Doge, and Divis in the bottom of the 8th. 5, 6, and 7. Dragons lead at 8-3. Cody Oliphant out for his second full inning. Bradley Nolan started, went 5 1/3. Taylor Woods went 1/3 of an inning. He allowed 2 hits and 3 earned runs. Cody Oliphant, 1 1/3 inning, has allowed just 1 hit and 1 walk, also 1 wild pitch. Brady Hoover, 2 for 4, 2 strikeouts, followed by 2 singles. An RBI single. Who takes inside ball 1. High pop, shallow right. Sanborn and Trevino, and it's true. Sanborn making the catch. 1 away. Rather nonchalantly, but play is made nonetheless. Hoover now 2 for 5, and that'll bring up Caden Doge. The freshman All-American, 0 for 2, hit by a pitch and a walk and a run scored. Pitch on the inside corner for a strike. Caden saw his average dropped to 288 earlier this year, and he's worked it back to 306 coming into this afternoon. That pitch misses outside for a ball 1-1. Oliphant's pitch is a high fly ball, shallow left. Back goes Keller, in comes Jeffers. As the shortstop, Keller, and there's 2 away in the Dragon 8th. Now Wyatt Divis. Divis continues to swing a hot bat. 2 for 3, 3 RBIs. An RBI single in the 5th. And then a 2-run double in the 6th. His last 5 doubles have all gone to left center field. And they give him that alley once again. Pitch outside, ball 1. Divis is now hitting 9 straight, so several Dragons have increased their hit streaks. And when cued foul, it's 1-1. Hellman's is now at 8. Hackles is at 7. Divis is at 9 now. Brady Hoover's is at 8. Scott Wolverton's is at 6. 1-1. Line drive over the second baseman's glove. And it's a 3-hit afternoon for Wyatt Divis, who continues to be white hot. Three hits in his last 3 at bats, a 2-out single, the Dragons' 13th of the game. And that'll bring up Scott Wolverton, who's 3 for 4 himself, 3 singles. Then he grounded out to short. Hutchinson's out hit Labette 13-8. The pitch. Inside, ball one. Wyatt Divis will get the start in game number 2 tomorrow. No word yet on a game 2 starter by Aaron Keel. Try to talk to him after the game. That pitch hits Wolverton in the helmet. Thank goodness for the protective piece protecting his lip. So for the third time today, a Dragon gets hit by a pitch. And that'll bring up Brock Schaefer. Nope, we're going to get a pinch hitter, and Brandon Doherty. So Brandon Doherty, transfer sophomore. I said Brandon, I meant Brandon is his brother. Sorry about that, BD. Marquise Doherty hitting .275. 33 for 125 home runs, 24 RBIs. In a pinch hitting role, Marquise 1 for 5. Hit slow to the left side, fielded by the third base, and there's a tag, and the ball's dropped. So what's the call? Are they going to call interference? So everybody's going to be safe because Divis isn't. Oh, they're just going to say the ball got knocked out of the glove on the tag, so no interference. It's going to be a fielder's choice. Fielder's choice and an error on the third baseman. So Divis safe at third on the error. First pitch swing is Coops popped up. Foul territory, first base side. Trevino near the fence. And it's out of play. So now 4 errors in the game on the Cardinals. And Coop hits with the bases loaded. Cooper with the bases loaded this year. 3 for 10. Chance to really put a dent in this one, but it's going to take a 2-out knock here. Pitch taken outside, 1-1. The umpire just pointed. He never made a call out safe or anything indifferent. That's where the dead air came from because I kept waiting for a call. I pitched in the dirt, 2-1 to Cooper. Coop hitting for the 6th time in this game. The pitch. Breaking pitch inside, 3-1. Hellman would be next. Here's the pitch. Taken for a strike, and that's a full count to Coop. So 3-2, 2 out. The runners are going to go. Doherty at first. Wolverton at second. Divis at third. Oliphant comes set. Now gets ready to make a payoff pitch to Shane Cooper. Here it is. Runners go. Little looper in the left field. That's down for a hit. 1 run scores. Wolverton scores. And it's 10-3. Coop drives in a couple. Doherty goes first to third. Wolverton and Divis both score. All runs are unearned. Now Michael Hellman. Hellman has been on base 4 consecutive times. Only 1 with a hit. He's 1 for 2. Walked twice. Been hit once. He scored 2 runs. The pitch. Strike at the knees to Michael. The Dragons trailed 2-1 after 4.5. Have now opened it up to a 10-3 lead. The pitch. foul ball at the plate, and that might have kind of a bit of the catcher. Nathan Garrison giving Sam Donnell a little time to regroup. Had an incident last Monday. Umpire took a foul tip in the mask and was knocked out. Ground ball left side. That's going to get through for a base hit. Doherty scores to make it 11-3. It's a two-hit game for Hellman, his 35th multi-hit game of the year.
Hey, Chloe's down there if you need the keys. Saw her down there today.
Cooper stops at second. Doherty scores. Now Bobby Morganson will be the 8th batter of the inning. Morganson had an RBI double in the first, then struck out, flown out to left, walked and scored. Ground ball right side, past the diving first baseman. That's a hit. Cooper being set. And now overrunning the ball. Here comes Hellman. The throw home is not in time, and this all of a sudden becomes a run rule game. That's the ball game. Hutchinson wins it. Hutchinson wins it 13-3 in 8 innings. And they take a 1-0 lead in this series. We'll total it up and wrap it up right after this. Blue Dragons win game 1, 13-3 in 8 innings. They were down by the score of 2-1 after 4.5. Then the offense finally got cranked up and wind up run ruling the Labette Cardinals in 8 innings, 13-3. Steve Carpenter back with you. Get ready to wrap this one up. And Hutchinson takes a 1-0 lead in the series. Game 2 will be tomorrow at 1 o'clock right here at Hobart-Detter Field. Here are the totals for the just completed game for the victorious Blue Dragons, who, by the way, tie a school record with their 18th consecutive victory. For the Blue Dragons, 13 runs, 16 hits, 2 errors, 11 left on base. Labette, 3 runs, 8 hits, 5 errors, 8 left on base. The winning pitcher, Nolan Hoffman, goes 7-1. Bradley Nolan takes the loss. He drops to 3-7. The time of ball game, 2 hours and 39 minutes. So the Dragons with a 1-0 series lead in this one. Labette got an unearned run in the top of the first. Hutchinson came back as Bobby Morganson drove in his 80th run of the year with a 1-out double, scoring Shane Cooper. That score went all the way to the 5th inning when Labette grabbed a 2-1 lead on an RBI double by Colton Shanker. But every time Labette scored, so did the Blue Dragons. The Dragons come back with 3 runs in the 5th. Nolan Hackle tied it up with a base hit, scoring Michael Hellman. Then Brady Hoover scored on a throwing error, and Wyatt Divis drove in a run. That made it 4-2. Labette came back with another run in the top of the 6th inning to make it 4-3, and the Dragons broke it open with 4 more runs in the 6th inning. RBI single by Brady Hoover and a 2-run double by Wyatt Divis, the big blows in that one. Dragons finished it off with 5 runs in the 8th inning. And the Dragons had a tremendous day with 2 outs. I'm going to pull up that number here in just a second. The Dragons with 2 outs today were 5 for 12 with 4 2-out RBIs. So a big day with 2 outs, and that's how championships are won, with 2-out RBIs. So the Dragons offensively were led by several people, several multi-hit games in this one. Shane Cooper 3 for 5. Wyatt Davis 3 for 5. Davis drove in 3 runs. He had a double. Cooper drove in 2 runs. He also had a double. 2 hits each for Michael Hellman, Bobby Morganson, Brady Hoover. Also Scott Wolverton, a 3-hit game. My apologies. Only 3 of the 16 hits for extra base hits. Cooper, Morganson, and Davis had doubles. Nolan Hoffman tosses his 4th complete game of the year. He wins his 15th career game, now 7-1, going 8 strong innings, 8 hits, allowed 3 runs. 2 of those were he struck out 6 and walked 2. Needed 119 pitches. So the Dragons have the series lead. They go for the sweep tomorrow. 1 p.m. first pitch at Hobart-Detter Field. Wyatt Davis will get the starting game number 2. Again, no word on a Labette starter. We'll have the broadcast for you at 12:45 p.m. with the pregame. First pitch at 1 p.m. Don't forget about Blue Dragon softball. They open up with the Labette Cardinals in the District E Region 6 tournament in Topeka. Kobe Comley will have the call beginning at 11:45 tomorrow morning. That's going to do it from Hobart-Detter Field. My thanks to Brandon Sams and the video crew. And thank you for joining us. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon, again at 12:45 for the pregame show. Until then, Steve Carpenter reminding you the very happy final score. Hutchinson takes game 1, 13-3 over Labette. Dragons have a 1-0 lead. Until tomorrow, so long, everybody.